Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the Fi Mastery Podcast, where our focus is on providing tools, resources, and insights that empower driven individuals to become the masters of their own financial independence journey. My name is Peter Donisanu, and today we're going to talk about how to navigate the overwhelming world of charitable giving. Now, if you're struggling with where to begin in your giving journey, or the festive spirit has you wondering how to make an impact this holiday season, then you're in the right place. That's because in today's episode, we'll discuss how to sift through various nonprofits by starting with your why, how to give within your level of commitment, and we'll also discuss how to bring it all together with a giving strategy to help you make wise decisions based on concrete data. So with that, let's dive into today's podcast. So you want to give money, but you're not sure where to start? Well, I don't blame you. Giving is hard. And according to some data out there, there are well over 1 million registered nonprofits globally. And so if you're like me, the holidays serve as a reminder about how crucial it is to focus on giving rather than receiving. So then with all the choices available to you, who exactly are you supposed to give your money to in the first place? Like, which one is the best pick? With all the choices that are out there, it's enough to put you in a state of analysis paralysis. Now, make no mistake, this lack of action isn't because of a shortage of red cans or street performers or local charity adverts asking for your money this time of the year. Yet for many of us, the big question is, where do I start with so many options out there? Now, if you have a genuine desire to give wisely this holiday season, but don't know exactly where to start, then the good news is that you can achieve this end by approaching charitable giving with a clear understanding of your motivations, your commitment level, and a well-defined strategy. To be sure, by approaching this giving season with a predefined game plan, you can not only ensure that your contributions make a meaningful and lasting difference, it will also help you achieve peace of mind, knowing that your time, talents, and treasures are being used effectively to bring about positive change in the world around you. All right, so when it comes to crafting a winning giving strategy, one of the first things you want to do is start with your why. And so why is this seemingly subjective approach the first thing that you want to do? Shouldn't you instead work through sorting a list of nonprofits or charities to give your money to? Well, the fact is that starting with your why helps you focus your charitable giving energy and your intentions. Indeed, when you take a step back and look at the world around you, you might notice pressing challenges in your community that tug at your heartstrings. And so starting with your why allows you to focus your giving on supporting those crucial causes. How so? Well, the process itself forces you to ask, what issues or challenges deeply resonate with me? Or what do I envision for a better world or society? Or maybe even, what are my long-term altruistic goals? So then with these introspective questions effectively answered, what they do is they act as the cornerstone of your philanthropic journey. Indeed, by identifying your why, what you're doing is setting a solid foundation for all your future altruistic endeavors. You can think of it like building a house by ensuring that the foundation is rock solid before you start building from the ground up. And so what does this look like in practice? Well, imagine for a moment that your why is centered around your passion for children's education. So then with this clarity, you could channel your resources towards programs that bolster education, provide scholarships, or even set up reading centers in your local community. In a similar way, if environmental conservation speaks to your why, then you could use your funds to support reforestation projects, wildlife preservation, or sustainable community initiatives. In essence, by understanding your passions and where you want to give, what you're doing is paving the way for purposeful and impactful contributions. All right, so now that you understand why knowing your why is so essential to your giving efforts, what should you do next? Well, here again, before signing that check or making your next donation, take a moment to reflect on what you genuinely want from your giving efforts and what you want to accomplish. Here again, this moment of introspection should be more than just a fleeting feeling and rather a thoughtful decision that guides your wealth toward making a meaningful difference in your community and in your world. All right, so now that you've identified your primary motivation for giving and have focused the direction of your giving efforts, let's talk about commitment. Now, while some of you might feel that charitable giving essentially involves writing checks or donating money, the truth is that making a dent in the world extends much further than just giving away some of your financial resources. And how's this possible? Well, when it comes down to it, there's a magnitude of ways that you can impact the world around you that involve varying degrees of your professional and personal resources. You see, the real beauty of creating a giving strategy lies in the variety of ways that you can contribute to making a difference in the community around you. And so what are we talking about here? Well, here again, it's not just about using your financial resources to support things you care about. It's also about dedicating your time and sharing your unique talents. So then when it comes to creating your giving strategy, once you've identified your why, take a few moments to dive deeper and ask yourself, how much of my time, talent, and treasures do I want to be involved in my altruistic efforts? For example, you might just want to make a one-time gift gift to a cause that's close to your heart, and that's perfectly fine. This form of giving, typically known as gifting, can be a beacon of hope and positivity for somebody who is truly in need. And so what are the benefits of gifting? Well, to start, gifting offers you the immediacy of making an impact in the community around you. That's because when you feel moved to support a cause or an issue, gifting allows you to act on that impulse without any delays. And so the direct nature of this approach means that your chosen charity can receive and deploy your donations faster, potentially leading to quicker positive change in your community. And so from a practical standpoint, the benefit of simple gifting is that it often is less cumbersome. That's because there's no need for extensive paperwork or tax structuring or legal consultations. And this approach can be especially appealing if you're not looking to commit a significant portion of your time, or if you're just new to the world of charitable giving. And finally, simple gifting affords you flexibility because you're not tied to a long-term commitment or obligation. And so this means that you can respond to evolving needs or shift your focus as you learn more about yourself and your giving efforts, or adjust your giving based on your personal or professional circumstances. Now, gifting may be okay for a one-off event, but what if you're thinking bigger? What if you want to make more of a dent in the universe? Well, that's where philanthropy comes into play. All right, but now hold on. You're probably asking yourself, aren't gifting and philanthropy the same thing? Well, the truth is that philanthropy often goes beyond sporadic acts of charity. That's because it demands more of an intentional, strategic approach. Here, what you're doing is not just donating your money, you're often actively partnering with causes, leading both with your resources and your voice, and aiming for a long-term change. Now, this philanthropic approach might involve creating scholarships, funding specific research projects, or even setting up institutions to ensure that the causes close to your heart are being supported in the ways that you want them to be. Philanthropy also provides you with the opportunity to collaborate with other like-minded individuals or institutions. Now, as opposed to gifting, this isn't just about pulling financial resources, but also sharing knowledge, expertise, and a vision for the common good. And so through these collaborations and these collaborative efforts, all the work you're doing can be amplified, leading to results that your money alone might not achieve. Now, another aspect to consider here is the legacy that you want to leave behind. That's because with philanthropy, you have the chance to create an enduring initiative or institution that carries on through time. And so what does this look like? Well, you can think of it as scholarships or research centers or community programs that benefit your community for generations to come. And so while simple gifting might address present needs, philanthropy allows you to plant seeds for a time in the future that you may not even witness. Overall, here the key difference between gifting and philanthropy is a higher level of commitment. Now, when it comes to the varying levels of giving commitment, effective altruism takes philanthropy to a step further. And how does this work? Well, with effective altruism, every penny, every moment, every ounce of your talent is directed towards making the most quantifiable difference in causes that matter most to you. Here, it's not just about doing good, but about doing the most good you possibly can. So then for those of you who want to deeply engage with your community around you and ensure that your contributions lead to a measurable impact, then effective altruism may be the route that you want to consider. And so what exactly is effective altruism? Well, at its core, effective altruism challenges you to think not just about how to do good, but how to do the most good with the resources you have available to you. What it does is it adds a layer of analytical rigor to the philanthropic giving that you plan to do and encourages you to elevate and prioritize causes based on their potential for a quantifiable impact. And so how is effective altruism different from other approaches? Well, while simple gifting might be driven by a desire to make an immediate impact or a desire to address a present need, and philanthropy may look at a broader systemic change and legacy, effective altruism encourages you to merge your heart's desires with your head's reasoning. How so? Well, imagine that you're faced with various causes and organizations that you could potentially support. What effective altruism does is that it helps you with your decision making by emphasizing evidence and the potential effectiveness of your chosen cause. Now, this is important because instead of spreading your resources thinly or being influenced by the most compelling narrative, what you're doing is being encouraged to concentrate your efforts where they can make the most significant difference. In a way, it's a philosophy that melds the passion of giving with the discipline of data and research. Moreover, effective altruism pushes you to constantly reassess and refine your giving strategy. Now, this is crucial because the world of charitable giving is vast and varied, and information and research constantly change. And so by adhering to the principles of effective altruism, in effect, what you're doing is committing to a path of continuous learning, adapting and evolving your approach based on the latest evidence and understanding of its impact on the community and the world around you. All right, so then with all these choices and all these ways to actually give, how can you determine your level of commitment? Well, when it comes to your giving strategy, think about whether you merely want to make a simple gift, whether you're looking to take an active strategic role in philanthropy, or whether you're leaning towards the all-encompassing path of effective altruism. Then once you've identified your desired level of commitment, you can then align it with the right approach, whether that's a simple donation or strategic philanthropic partnership partnership, or an analytical altruistic commitment, make sure your intentions and actions are ultimately in alignment. Remember, the key is to find a method that resonates with you and feels right for you, given your time, talent, and treasures. All right, so now that you've honed in on your why and have identified how you want to give your treasures, now the pressing question is, where exactly do you find the right causes that align with your goals and intentions? Well, there are often a number of ways to identify where to give your money. Obviously, you can ask your friends, you can passively look for causes in your community, or you can respond to adverts that come in the mail. Now, with that said, you're likely to make a more effective dent in the universe if you narrow your giving shortlist by using objective data. Indeed, as you get going, it's essential to approach your giving process with the mindset of an investigator. Here again, you're not just looking for places to donate, you're searching for a partner in your altruistic journey. Now, there are various tools and resources out there that offer transparency and insights into various charities and nonprofits. But for the purposes of today's discussion, we'll focus on narrowing down your search by using relevant websites that rate and review these organizations. And so what kind of resources are we talking about here? Well, websites like Charity Navigator or GiveWell provide extensive data on the effectiveness, transparency, and impact of various charitable and nonprofit institutions out there. Indeed, when you turn to websites like Charity Navigator or GiveWell to inform your charitable giving, you're tapping into a rich reservoir of research and expertise. To be sure, these platforms can play a crucial role in enhancing your giving experience, no matter if you're leaning towards simple gifting, broader philanthropy, or the results-focused approach of effective altruism. And so how does this work? Well, while Charity Navigator focuses on aspects like financial health and accountability of charities, GiveWell hones in on the cost effectiveness and the evidence of impact of charities evaluated. And this is important because this kind of insight ensures that you're directing your resources to organizations that are not only responsible with the resources that you give to them, but are also effective in using them and helping those in need. So then as you use these quantitative tools, you can imagine the time that you spend sifting through countless charities trying to determine their legitimacy or impact. Because in the end, these platforms, what they do is handle that daunting task for you. And their evaluations and analyses help streamline your decision-making process, giving you more time to focus on the causes you're most passionate about. Now, another thing to consider is that charities and nonprofits evolve over time, which can have an impact on their effectiveness, management of resources, and overall impact in the community. So then it's heartening to know that platforms like Charity Navigator and GiveWell aren't static because they're continuously updating their evaluations so they can provide you with the freshest amount of data so that you can make a more informed decision with your giving. And now finally, beyond the ranks of numeric evaluations, you'll likely find a treasure trove of articles and insights and resources available through these websites. Now, this is important because this knowledge base can further inform and refine your approach to giving, helping you become not just a donor, but a well-educated giver. When it comes down to it, it's easy to become overwhelmed with the sheer number of charitable options before you, especially when giving takes center stage during the holidays. Even so, remember that it's not about the quantity, but the quality of your contribution that counts. Indeed, it's about ensuring that your generosity truly creates an impact in the world around you. So then, rather than getting lost in the maze of options, take a step back and reflect on what resonates with you most, reflect on your values, and reflect on your capacity to give, whether that's your time, your talents, or your treasure. And so by being intentional and strategic with your contributions, you not only amplify the effects of your generosity, but you also nurture a deeper sense of fulfillment towards the causes that matter most to you. After all, giving isn't just a seasonal act, it's a lifelong process. So then as the holiday lights twinkle and the festive spirit fills the air, take a moment to strategize, align with your purpose, and give in a way that leaves a lasting legacy, but most importantly, one that takes you one step closer to becoming the master of your financial independence journey. Well, that's it for now. Thank you for taking the time to listen to the FI Mastery podcast. To learn more about today's topic, you can visit the episodes page at FImastery.com. And if you can find one person in your life who would find today's message helpful in getting their financial house in order, please share this episode with them. But until next time, I'm Peter Donisanu, wishing you and yours abundant health and prosperity.
The FI Mastery podcast is brought to you by Franklin Madison Advisors, Inc. Franklin Madison Advisors is a registered investment advisor firm with its registration and principal place of business in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Registration of an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training. This commentary and forecast are limited to the dissemination of general information pertaining to Franklin Madison Advisors' investment advisory services and general economic and market conditions and are subject to change without notice. The information shared today is not intended to be personal, legal, investment, or tax advice, or a solicitation to buy or sell any security or engage in a particular investment strategy. For additional information about Franklin Madison Advisors, including fees and services, please contact Franklin Madison Advisors or refer to the investment advisor public disclosures.